So let me go directly through my slides because I have quite some of them and I hope that I will finish on time. The title of my talk is Strategic Engagement with Emerging Infrastructures. And actually what I will present here is the work mostly of that was done within the work package 8 of PRISMAP project. Here on the screen you see listed the partners in participating in this work package. But let me start to explain the title word by word. I'm talking about emerging infrastructures, first of all. And actually what I'm tackling are production infrastructures. In order to clarify which are those, I'm using this map from the produced at the very beginning of the PRISMAP project, in which the emerging infrastructures are listed here in this faded pink background, and I will go through them. So we have the GSI facility fair that in the preparation of the PRISMAP project, had the intention to develop a production infrastructure, but those plans changed, and actually this is a partner that didn't contribute anymore to the work package. So yeah. This is a case that didn't materialize actually the idea of the project within an infrastructure. But all the others are very successful cases. And I take them going down on my list here, MIRA, and especially with the ISOL facility at MIRA, which is developed at SCK CEN. During the PRISMA project moved from a simply project and design activity for the infrastructure to really the construction of the facility. We have then Spiral 2, which also produced even data through the Neutron for Science facility, so the neutron irradiations that were used for doing studies in support of also of aeronautics even infrastructure. So not only NFS, but also the cyclotron of and the lineup of the Spiral 2. I move to the right, I have ESS. This is the spallation neutron source in Lund, which is one of the emerging facilities. So we do investigations, they do investigations for the production in this facility of medical isotopes. And this was one of the important partners in this work package as well. Then we go to Italy, SPES with Isol Farm and Laramet at INFN, Legnaro in Padova, where Laramet is actually already did, this is a cyclotron-based facility for production of isotopes, and they already during the PRISMAP emerged with their first production tests. So it's a commissioned facility, and the ISOL part is under commissioning. So we see it being constructed during PRISMAP. And then we have the nuclear reactor Jules Horowitz in France at Cadarache, which was also one of the reactor-based future production emerging infrastructures in PRISMAP. What we didn't have at the beginning of the picture, but they appeared during the project, is the evolution with CERAT in Poland. So they also got involved into the studies that we did within this work package. Then TATUS, the ISOL facility under development now at BSI. The idea of TATUS was not even visible at the beginning of PRISMAP. But it's something for PRISMAP Plus. And then aeronautics in connection with the mass separator SMILES, which is also in our attention for future production and mass purification of medical isotopes. All these emerging infrastructure have a strategic role for complementing the conventional production routes and enabling therefore novel routes. But the title actually doesn't talk about their strategic role, but the title of my presentation talks about strategic engagement of these infrastructures. And this is what I want to cover here. Basically, all these partners were embedded within the PRISMAP consortium, and they took part in technology development that was done within the different joint research actions. And I'm showing here as an example the target ion source developments and mass separation developments done within the work package 10. Where all the emerging facilities contributed and learned from the studies done and developments done with the others. Then the operational infrastructures could share return of experience and feedback with us. And I'm giving here an example of the Medicis facility, which was the only mass separation facility in the consortium operational at CERN. And now we have several other mass separation facilities either under commissioning or construction. And then the knowledge sharing goes further through all the means that we had in our consortium, through consortium meetings, workshops, dedicated workshops, and schools. We had a dedicated work package for the emerging infrastructures with very clearly defined objectives from the beginning of the project. We wanted to align future production to user requests. We want to look into to contribute to the sustainability of the PRISMAP network. And not only to align to user requests, but also to obtain the support of the users for the development of our facilities. And then we wanted to extend the mass separated isotopes facilities in Europe, and this was definitely the case. And then to extend the production in general to increase the geographical coverage of PRISMAP. We had two tasks defined. One had to do with the organization, concrete organization of workshops, and another one dedicated to guidance and support of operating and emerging infrastructures and deliverables, 3 deliverables defined for these two tasks. Within the first task, we organized 2 workshops. The first one was 3 years ago, actually is in 2022. I made a typo here in Legnaro, where we had 76 participants. It was a hybrid meeting, in-person and remote participation. We had talks dedicated to infrastructures, but we had also the second day, technical day, organized in collaboration with Work Package 10 on production techniques with so developments on target ion sources and isotope purification. We had more participants in this second day also because this was open to the large public and it increased the number of online participants. Actually, these remote participants are reflecting especially those connected for the second day. We had a poster session and we had the opportunity to visit the SPES facility. You see here a picture from the front end of SPES in the target vault, a place where we were lucky to enter before any protons reached it. So that was like one of a time experience. Concluded with the proceedings book of the workshop, which was the first deliverable. The second workshop was organized more recently this year in Mol in Belgium. This time we had less participants, but we started with the idea that this will not be a hybrid meeting, but only an in-person meeting. And actually it was not open to the large public, but only to those participants in the study, which was at the basis of this workshop and that I will discuss. Yeah, we had again talks dedicated to infrastructures, also topical sessions that I will discuss, and we had also a session with external participants, invited guests, talking about the enrichment of isotopes and isotope production at external laboratories, external to PRISMAP, I mean. And then we had a session dedicated to the realization of the deliverable 3, the white paper, and posters and visits of SCK infrastructures. At SCK, we could not take pictures with the visitors, but I'm showing here that we visited the PR2 reactor, the centralized radiochemistry facility recently built. This is actually another infrastructure emerging within the PRISMAP, but it has to do with the chemical processing of isotopes. And we visited the MIRA facilities, and I'm showing here a picture from our ISO laboratory. Because of the large overlap of the proceedings of this workshop with the white paper, we decided and submitted an amendment to the project. We decided to combine the two deliverables, DE2 and A3 in one, which happened. So let me come now to this third deliverable, which is linked to the second task in the project, guidance and support of PRISMAP infrastructures operating and emerging. I'm pointing here some important aspects that happened within linked to this task, and I'm listing them against the objectives just to show that actually we were very focused and we tackled all objectives that we set forward at the beginning of the project. Already from Legnaro in 2022, we had a presentation on promising radionuclides and then a discussion session also dedicated to that, which were reflected in the proceedings book, and which was the first material that we collected for the realization of the white paper within this task. Then we had drafted a roadmap for PRISMAP continuation beyond age 2020 funded periods. We contributed to the realization of the new long-range plan, and actually here we were very happy to see the user interest and support towards our infrastructures. In two thematical working groups, we contributed. Then we identified new initiatives in Europe. Tattoo Smiles, I mentioned. IFMIF Donors is another one, which is in our review for the PRISMA Plus. Then we also identified new operational facilities like the cyclotron facility in Bucharest, which also actually links to extending the geographical coverage of our consortium and reaching further to the users. And the most important, actually exhaustive and vast activity within this task was this study for assessing production of key isotopes, which we developed not only with the PRISMA partners, but also with these future partners like IFMIF facility, all other externally invited guests, which I will discuss. We changed a bit the white paper. So initially it was said a white paper summarizing the letters of interest from the user community. Actually, we extended the work far beyond that. It's not only that we are looking at the interest of the users, but we already assess the feasibility of production of these radionuclides in order to answer the request of the users.
5 days. So if you see me, you can speak to me. I'm not supposed to present anything.
I hope that you can still hear me. Can you confirm in the room?
Sorry for that. Should not happen.
Okay.
We have Laura online. Could you, Laura, switch off?
Okay. So, and now the rest of my presentation actually is really dedicated to the white paper that we realized. For these slides, I also use material from Uli, who I want to acknowledge. Actually, here Uli was summarizing how did we capture the interest of the user community for the radionuclides of PRISMAP. And Uli is pointing especially towards it started with the survey that was realized from already our first web page. The future users could express interest on the innovative or classical, whatever radioisotopes of interest that were in our catalog or not included already in the PRISMAP catalog at that moment. Then there were help desk interactions with the users. There were the proposals, the many proposals that were received. And here, I don't know exactly the number. Thierry was mentioning 46, but those are the approved proposals. Actually, much more proposals were received for isotopes, asking for more than 80 radionuclides. So this was the basis for us to look into the user interest. And then what we did, of course, we could not do studies for all of them, but it was also meaningless to do studies for all those radionuclides. Instead, we defined some criteria for selecting some key radionuclides for a study. And we selected cases where several different production routes were competing, so available and competing. Also, we wanted to have representative radionuclides figuring both diagnosis, both PET and SPECT imaging, as therapy, beta, alpha, and Auger electron emitters, and we came with this list of 6 radionuclides that we investigated. And we have here also the list of what was not selected with the reasons why we didn't select those nuclides, basically the cases where we had a unique production route or a dominant production route we didn't investigate. The already established accelerator-produced radionuclides as well were excluded from the study, like the same for the reactor-produced radionuclides. We had radionuclides that were investigated in other work packages, which were not included here as well, or radionuclides that had similarities with those that were selected here, like radium and thorium. This has to do with the radionuclides that were addressed. Now I'm showing here the list of the facilities that we included in the study, and this is where we went beyond PRISMAP, and we included, for instance, also IFMIF donors in colleagues into this study. So we had the isotopes, we had the production methods, so the different production routes, and then we had various facilities, each of them with their unique characteristics, with maybe different energies, different intensities of the beams available there, and so on and so on, mass separation or not mass separation. So we looked even into Bremsstrahlung facilities, so Bremsstrahlung gamma beams for production, which is not present in PRISMA, but therefore we had this invited guest helping us with this very, very detailed study. And here, just to show you that it's even more than that, that these many studies go even far beyond all the different combinations that you see here. I'm giving you the example of actinium investigation at Isolamira, where we didn't only look into the thorium irradiation route for the production, but there we took particularities. We look into online extraction and mass separation of actinium, or chemical separation and then offline extraction, or offline extraction, and mass separation of actinium, or having radium-225 extracted and let building up then actinium-225, and afterwards have chemical purification of actinium-225. So we really look into a lot of possibilities, and the assessment was done therefore for all the selective isotopes and the production routes, and we organized within 3 working groups in order to have some coherent approach for all these studies. We had working groups dedicated to irradiation with charged particles or neutrons, fast neutrons, but we looked also into the not fast neutrons reactor spectra just for comparisons. Then we had fast protons and mass separation, the 3rd working group, and laboratories from abroad where, especially for the gamma route, which we didn't have present in our consortium. I'm listing here CNL, the Canadian National Lab. We had invited guests from there in the workshop that were presenting, for instance, because I was talking about actinium, also the thorium milking cow, another production possibility for this isotope. So we try to be as much as possible exhaustive to have a good intercomparison and select the most efficient efficient routes for the production of these radionuclides. I will not discuss the details. What I want to show you here is that we had to really to agree on many things. We had to, in order to be able to compare the results from the different infrastructures, we had to agree on the target composition, on the irradiation time, extraction time, chemical processing and mass separation efficiencies, all kinds of things. Then what does it mean to have an acceptable final product in terms of purity, specific activities, and things like that. And for this, it was really crucial, the feedback that was received from the operational infrastructures and from the experts available within our consortium. We summarized in huge Excel files, Excel tables, all these data from the different partners. And then the results, after, of course, were discussed within the working groups, but then we gathered all together at this workshop in Belgium that took place in March, where we had dedicated sessions, not only for infrastructures, but also for the different isotopes. And because of the multitude of results and of the studies that were done, then we named conveners that had really transversal synthesis of the results for the different nuclei that we addressed from the different investigations that were done by the different partners. And then these conveners were in charge also with the preparation of the corresponding chapters into the white paper. Luca Zanini from ESS was the editor of the white paper and the coordinator that was gathering the material from all of us. And we are very glad that we finalized this deliverable, which is published now both on the PRISMAP web tool and on Zenodo. I'm giving you here the link if you want to have a look into it. I don't end before acknowledging not only the people that I mentioned as being coordinators or conveners, but all the people that contributed to the study, a lot of enthusiastic researchers that and seniors that did a huge work. And this is the end of my talk. I don't know how I am with the time and if I have time to read the conclusions. In any case, just very, very quickly. So the emerging infrastructure play a major strategic role, in PRISMAP, in complementing the conventional radionuclide production and enabling novel routes, ensuring also broadening of the geographical coverage of PRISMAP. Then through the workshops and the collaborative studies, we successfully engaged a wider community. These studies were performed in coordinated working groups, and we established coherent production scenarios, and we integrating also the feedback from the operational facilities. We produced a white paper, which consolidates the technical feasibility to answer the user needs, and this also serves as a roadmap for the future developments and in support of the PRISMAP Plus, so the continuation of our consortium beyond the current funding period. And yeah, new infrastructure initiatives and partnerships expand PRISMAP capabilities, this for sure, but we look further at PRISMAP, and actually we see that it has an impact at European level because it's reinforcing Europe's capabilities in innovative radionuclides production for nuclear medicine. And that's the end of my talk. Thank you very much for your attention. We are definitely proud to look back at PRISMAP, and we are excited to look forward to PRISMAP Plus.